Shannon's usually on the floor. We should put her down there.
What's it like to have a chair for this episode?
It's highly unusual. I don't know how I feel about it.
Hi, Shannon.
Hi, Allie.
Hi, Sarah. Sarah, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I wanted to tell you guys about a couple of movies that I watched the other day. I'm an aficionado, I'd say, of Hallmark Christmas movies.
That is true.
And they have a couple of movies that are about hockey
I'm obsessed.
at the same time. So one of them was called Taking a Shot at Love, right?
I love this
And
already.
it had Alexa Penavega, the girl from Spy Kids,
Oh,
in the main role. So already fantastic. And
Well,
it's about a guy who is on a major, like he's on a professional hockey team,
Uh-huh.
but he has like an ankle injury. So he needs to like rehab it or whatever. And I already told you guys what team that he's on in this movie.
Like an actual team.
But it's an actual NHL team. So he's wearing merch for it throughout the entire movie. It's absolutely everywhere. They're always talking about it.
Really?
A Rangers themed movie, unfortunately.
I think this is incredible.
So I
Only
did-
the Rangers would do this.
Right? Like
Yeah.
they must have had some agreement with them to do this Rangers themed Hallmark Christmas movie. And I don't know who this could have been made for, if not me. But it was unfortunately Rangers themed. So they have to teach him how to do ballet to rehab his ankle injury.
Adorable.
So like build up the foundation in his foot and his ankle and everything. And
Yeah.
he ends up getting called back down to their minor league team. And then
Mhm.
eventually at the end, he ends up back on the Rangers. And it's in the first round of the playoffs and they win in overtime. And then he does a little twirl on stage at the local ballet recital.
Wow.
It was incredible. The other one, though, was a little more sad. It was about a guy who's a little older than most rookie hockey players are. He was 32, but he was playing for, I think, the East Coast Hockey League, they said it was. And he was trying to work his way up to eventually being in the NHL. And he never quite got there, unfortunately.
Oh.
His dad was like an NHL Hall of Fame player.
Did
and
they
just
make up
no
like
one...
a fake name for his dad? Like Shmaine
Yeah,
Metzke?
it was Wayne Briggs.
Wayne Briggs.
Yeah.
Wayne Briggs.
Oh, that's a great one.
The team that he was playing for on this was called the Idaho Falls Fighting Trout. I can't imagine that that's real. I didn't look it up to confirm or not.
Idaho Falls Falling Trout.
But he never ends up making it. And he just ends up coaching local kids hockey.
There is a
That's so sad.
Is it
hockey
real?
league called the Fighting Trout.
Wow. So they must have had an agreement with them too.
Yeah.
It's like it's Performa X Hockey League. What is this random ass hockey league?
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's what I was saying. Like, it's not anything that you've really heard of. And he was 32. And they kept commenting on it in this movie that he was so old.
Aw.
Did he at least get the
Apparently-
girl?
He did. He did.
Okay.
It's Hallmark. So,
Okay.
of course, he did.
Okay.
Um,
just checking because
yeah.
he didn't get into in the major league, which is surprising
Yeah.
for Hallmark.
That's
that
true.
He didn't just make it at the last second for a substitution.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't like the what's the word I'm looking for? The machine.
The Zamboni
He
driver.
wasn't the Zamboni driver goalie, you know, like the backup goalie. I couldn't think of
The machine.
Oh my gosh. Flip. All right.
Well, Shannon, this gives
But
you
yeah.
hope that there is still time for you to achieve your dreams.
Exactly.
I was thinking that the entire
We can still make it.
I was like, I still have a really good chance.
Yeah.
And I have years
Yeah.
before 32.
Mhm.
This continues to be an achievable and normal goal.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right. This is Hot Girls Hockey, born in Jersey. Our weekly opinions on the Devils. No facts, because we're analyzing by vibes. So, Allie, start us off. What is our red carpet report of the week?
Well, I had a couple of different options this week.
Ooh.
Instead of, and I'm gonna shock you. I'm not gonna be talking about their arrival outfits.
Okay.
Shocked
We,
face.
we have two options. Do you want to hear about outfits or do you want to play like a silly little game?
Can we not do
Ooh.
both?
But we can do both. But which do you want to do first?
I do have some little guest noms I want to
saw
throw in
that.
there.
I like that. Let's do that first. So Timo Meyer had a signing this week.
I know the picture.
That's right. That was this week?
a freaking
Oh my God.
Last week, maybe.
Okay.
The weeks are all the same.
It
All right.
doesn't matter, yeah.
And he wore this sweater that I am obsessed with.
Yes.
And I actually sent this sweater to our friend, longtime listener, and fashion expert to see if she could identify it for me.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Was she able to?
No.
Interesting.
That is her entire career, and she did not recognize it. So it is like a moss green wool sweater with a little monogram on the left breast that has like an L, like a beige or like an ivory L, and then the letter F overlapping each other to almost a little square shape. The only thing that she could find was a brand LF based somewhere in either Pennsylvania or like the Midwest, somewhere in the US, but makes women's winter clothing.
Maybe he's wearing a women's large
went through
sweater.
Their catalog and I
Interesting.
couldn't find this sweater.
Wow. Okay. My theory is it's handmade for him.
It could be atelier.
I have a
Okay.
different theory, but I don't know if
or
I should
bespoke,
say it.
I guess is the word. What's the theory?
Well, we know he's into moms, right? So there's a reason we can't find this because it's not a recent thing and he's wearing somebody else's
It's
jacket.
a mom
Anyway.
sweater.
Yeah.
My God. Good
So that's a
reporting,
theory,
team.
but anyway.
I love it.
But she couldn't find it.
Ay.
Well, the real thing I want to talk about in this photo
Yeah.
is I didn't know that Timo was flippin' blonde.
I agree with you. When did that happen?
like,
It's just like the ends of his hair. Maybe it was like from the summer sun.
yeah, or colored, or maybe it's the lighting in the photo. Maybe it's a bright photo. But
don't know.
the first thing I thought of when you sent me that photo was Timo's blonde.
He looks blonde.
and
Yeah.
everything I know is a lie.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
And he sounds American in interviews
Yes,
now.
yeah. What was that?
He's a totally
I don't
different
know.
person.
If you haven't listened to Timo Meyer speak in an interview lately, his voice is a completely different octave.
Yeah.
And his accent, like I closed my eyes and listened to him and like I could not differentiate him from like,
I would have thought he was like Canadian or something, honestly.
yeah. There's like a slight lilt to
Yeah.
the voice. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
But like give
Completely
him
different.
another 6 months and I'll have a complete New Jersey accent.
So we love the green wool mystery sweater.
Yes. Speaking of Sharks players.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. My best of the week is actually not going to any of the Devils.
Okay.
It is going to Tomas Hertl.
Don't know him.
He
Sure.
plays for the Sharks. I don't know him either.
I feel like I should know.
But he wore a bright baby blue suit with candy canes printed all over it.
I saw
And a
that.
matching candy cane tie.
It's really cute.
It is actually adorable.
This is what I want them to always
This
do.
is lovely.
I want this kind of fun all
Yes.
the time. Why not?
I
Baby
agree.
and Zetterlund came out in a cute little like reindeer outfit.
Aw.
It
Oh.
was so fun.
Man.
All of the players. I think they need to bring this energy
All
every
the time.
week.
Love it.
I would also love to see this energy on the ice for the Devils, but also in the outfits. But we'll get to that later.
Baby
my
steps.
Gosh. Sarah, tell me what your guest nominations this week are.
Sure. So we went to a game
Oh,
this
we
week.
sure did.
And while we were there,
Yeah.
there were just a couple people that I want to throw out some honorable mentions to because I have no decision-making power in the best dressed. But when we were walking to our seats, I saw a guy wearing a jersey that said Rangers suck and the number was 69.
Hilarious.
And they also kept showing on the Jumbotron this guy in this glittery devil mask that was just mesmerizing to me.
He had a whole cloak.
He did. He had a little cloak on and everything. It was all tattered, like a little hood and everything.
But a glitter
And
mask.
they kept showing him, and it was just excellent.
I love that.
Loved it.
That's fantastic. I wish I was able to be there with you guys. Okay, Allie.
So instead of doing a worst dress this week, I have collected a couple of photos for you guys.
Okay.
As you know, last week was the Fathers and Mentors trip for the Devils.
Yeah.
I mean, we got to see some of the dads. I collected a selection of photos. I didn't manage to screenshot as many as I wanted to.
Okay.
Okay.
But I'm just going to show you guys a couple ones. And I have a question
Yes.
you. And that is, which Devils player do you think looks the most like his dad?
Ooh, okay.
Brendan Smith.
Really?
Okay, I don't have a picture of Brendan Smith in here, but yes, I agree.
I didn't see his dad. I don't.
I saw
I'll
it
find it.
during
Okay.
the. Sorry, answer that so fast.
No, continue.
I saw it during the broadcast where they were interviewing his dad, and then they had the side by side split screen with
Aw.
him, and I was like, "Yep, that's somebody who really looks like his dad."
Wow.
It was my first thought. All right, but I will make a selection
I'll
from
show
the
you-
ones that are you are showing us.
Okay.
I'm ready for this. I know who doesn't look like their dad.
Yeah.
Okay, we have Kevin Ball.
All right,
Okay.
I see it.
Interesting. Okay.
This is like a father and son combination where you look at this man and you're like, that is absolutely his father. And at the same time, they look nothing alike.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I could see all the
I-
similarities, but as like a whole, I would also believe if you told me they weren't.
Right. I would never pick him out.
Right.
This one, which, okay, this one's a little bit of a sleeper.
All right. Oh yeah, it's right in the eyes,
Who
the
are we looking
nose,
at?
and the mouth. Isn't this Mercer?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in this one, it's like you look at the bodies, no, but just the eyes, the nose, and the mouth and the expression, identical.
Yeah.
You could copy paste their face.
Yes, I agree.
Love it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
That's kind of hilarious, actually.
Expressions.
Huh.
and
But they're also making like one is like up, one's down, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
I would say Mercer looks a lot like his
He
dad.
definitely does. Yeah.
Especially when they're making the same expression.
This one, I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you guys. Okay. Here we have Jesper Bratt.
No, I don't see it at all, to be honest.
It is possible that this isn't his dad.
This is
It
just a
occurs to
guy.
me that
Oh, it could be
they
his mentor.
could be a mentor, but I
Yeah.
think that's his dad. It looks like him.
I could see it, but I don't see it.
No, they don't.
I think
It's
that's
just a guy.
Compared to Mercer, so far Mercer takes it. He looks the most like his dad.
Yeah.
this one. Okay. This is the one that I think is the most obvious.
Oh my God. Yeah. Okay. That's fair.
Who are we
Yeah.
looking at, Shannon?
There's no contest.
It's so funny because originally I was going to say they don't look like each other.
Really?
I'm looking at Nico and his dad, but when I saw Nico's dad in the little Twitter
Interview video
interview that
thing.
they did, and I'm
Yeah.
like, that doesn't look like Nico's dad.
Interesting.
But side by side, the eyebrows.
Yeah.
My gosh.
Them eyebrows.
The eyebrows,
Mhm.
the expression.
I think
Yeah.
they look exactly the same. I think Nico's dad is just him in like a silver font.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's like a slightly italic font.
Uh-huh.
It's like cursive and
Mhm.
he's like print.
Yeah.
But I think they look identical.
That's just a progression of time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. I would say Nico looks the most like his dad besides Brendan Smith and his dad, but I don't have a photo for
Yeah.
comparison at the moment. But that's just based on what I remember during the broadcast.
I agree with you. Brendan Smith's dad looks a lot like him. I'm
Yeah.
trying to find a picture of Akira Schmidt's dad.
I saw Tyler Toffoli and his dad. They look pretty similar, but
Mhm.
not like identical, but like you can tell that's his
Yeah.
dad. I also saw Eric Holla and his dad, and they don't look anything alike
Really?
from
Huh.
what I remember.
This is Akira Schmidt's dad.
Yeah. They have very similar eyes.
This video doesn't do justice.
No.
Oh,
I
okay.
saw a different
Yeah,
video
the
of him.
eyes. Yeah.
Yeah.
From a distance, you can tell they're both lanky.
Okay.
Yeah. So, Allie, you obviously think it's
I think
Nico.
I think Nico and his
Nico.
dad look very similar.
Absolutely.
But I agree with your theory that Dawson looks more like his dad too.
Yeah.
This has nothing really to do with fashion, but I didn't know where else to put this
No,
segment.
I like it.
I
So
love
that's
it.
good.
Here it is.
Yeah.
This is great.
That's my red carpet report.
Yeah.
No one's getting a worse dress this week because it's Christmas.
Yeah.
And in the gift
Exactly.
of giving, everyone looks great.
Aw. Me too?
You always look great.
Aw.
Don't lie to me.
What?
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Sarah, please take us into our weekly update.
You know, I just noticed we've never come up with a fun segment name for this. It still just says fun segment name
Yes,
at the
it
top.
does.
Well, it's because this segment is not
It's not fun. That's the thing. You're right. It's not fun ever. We are still stuck in 6th place. Are we ever gonna get out of this? We've got 34 points.
7 is my favorite number. Maybe we'll end up there.
Mm.
Ouch.
Let's hope not. The only ones that are behind us at this point are the Penguins and the Blue Jackets.
Yikes.
Got 16 wins, 13 losses, and 2 overtime losses now.
Those losses are in the double digits.
Yes, they are. They've been in the double digits.
Oh,
This is really rough.
the Rangers have like how many points? 40 something?
45, I think.
Oof,
Ew.
Yeah.
that hurts.
It's too many for the Rangers.
Yeah.
What's happening?
I know.
It's one step forward, 2 steps back.
Yep.
You just take it
One step at a time.
one step at a time.
All right. So one step at a time. Let's go through the Blue Jackets game.
Which, like, at least we did win this one.
Yeah.
Right?
Yay.
That's something.
One step forward.
And it seemed like we were having a good start with it. Jack scored like 40 seconds into this game, reminding us of what they were like. And then another one not too far after that from Eric Holla.
We did
And-
great.
Yeah. And then there was an unfortunate goal that Schmidt let in, but like I got it. It was a difficult situation that they had kind of gotten him into. Like they'd been battling it out for a little bit beforehand and he had just kind of been all over the place and like it made sense. But then Tyler Toffoli immediately responded after that. It was great. Things were looking good.
Woohoo.
And then after my notes on that were just kind of my usual too many men on the ice is the dumbest penalty. Because it is.
How many men on the ice is too many men on the ice? Do you get extra penalties if it's like too many men on the ice?
That's a good question. I
You
don't know.
Like what if you
I've
have
never thought about
what
that
if you send the
before.
entire team out on the ice?
Yeah. Do you get like an extra long penalty then? Or is it just.
There's someone out there who knows the answer
One.
to this.
Yeah.
And
But I still want to see the entire Devils team rush onto the ice during a play just because they can.
I have to imagine that probably not, but it would be kind of funny if that was the case.
the entire team is in timeout.
The penalty box would be big enough. I wonder if that's ever happened. If the penalty box, like too many guys
yes.
have gotten a penalty and they can't all fit in there.
Yes, that's definitely happened. I think that happened this year when everyone on the ice got a 10-minute major or
God,
something.
yeah, that was crazy. Oh my God. There were a bunch of penalties on the Devils in this game. It was not great. And if this had been a game against literally any other team, besides the one who's last in the Metropolitan Division, that would have been a disaster for this team.
Ouch.
I feel like I didn't used to think of the Devils as the team that's constantly taking penalties.
Yeah.
Last year, I felt like they took none.
I don't remember
And
it
that
being
was
that
like,
drastic. Yeah.
right. That's what made them so good. The only time they took a penalty was when it felt like it was an accident or when Timo joined the team.
That's true.
TM do be cursing them a
TM.
little bit.
But besides that, I don't remember
Yeah.
there being like any
It's a little out of
penalties.
control
Yeah.
this season. I don't know why. At one point, it was 4-on-3. Jack did score immediately into that, but like that
Okay.
shows you, like there were so many just silly things.
It sounds
happening.
like the Devils did well though.
They did, thankfully, because this was against someone who's probably struggling in similar ways to
For
us.
what it's worth, though,
But-
after losing to the Sharks, I really needed to see them
That's true.
beat the Blues.
Right.
For the
We'll
sake of my
take it.
own sanity.
Yeah, we'll take
Yeah.
it. It was Jack's 100th NHL goal in this game.
Yay.
Nico's
Wow.
300th career point,
Wow.
and Jack also got a hat trick.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
heck yeah.
And I think the funniest thing that I saw from this game, because like you said, it was the Dad's Day
Yeah.
kind of content that they were showing. At one point in an interview, Erica was talking to Eric Holla and asked him, is it sweeter to score when your dad's in the building? And he kind of just went, I don't care. I just want to win. And then later on, they had another interview with Eric Holla's dad.
Yeah.
And
Oh my gosh.
they were asking him, like, is it, nice to be here to see them win or anything? He goes,
Uh-huh.
it doesn't matter if I'm here or back in Finland. Which,
All right. I need to make a
At least
correction.
you know where Eric gets it from.
yeah,
Yeah.
like they're the exact same
Person.
mentality
Okay, so Eric Hall is the most like his dad.
in spirit. Yeah.
Yeah.
They are definitely related.
It was really funny.
So it sounds like they did well.
But yeah,
This was the night that Brat and Jack were dubbed the PB&J line.
that is
Mhm.
true. And it was working well for them.
It sure did.
It sounds like something that we would have come up with,
It
though,
really does.
honestly.
Yeah.
Calling the players foods. That's something that we have literally done on this podcast.
Well, the PB&J sandwich. Who's the bread?
Oh,
If I assume Jack is the J, the jelly.
yeah.
Nico's the Swiss cheese.
Who's putting cheese in the
Cheese?
PB&J?
Oh,
What?
I will stop talking.
What are you eating?
she's making some interesting sandwiches over there, I guess.
All right, I'm sorry. Who's the bread?
I can't even think now.
I can't either. I don't know where to take that from.
We'll come back to it at the end.
Okay.
I was so thrown off by her putting Swiss cheese in a PB&J. I didn't know where to go from there. All right, so against the Blue Jackets, we had the magic of the dads helping and the PB&J line. Those two things combined, which only makes sense why the very next game against the Ducks, you would just separate the PB&J.
Yep, makes perfect sense.
What happened here?
It was a meltdown. This game, I felt like the team had a meltdown. We were frazzled and never recovered.
How did they end up frazzled? Did they come out frazzled or did something happen?
A couple big things happened. But
Tell
like
me
the
about
first period, we were doing great. As I believe it was Dano said, Devils are buzzing early, which is great. I also thought I was hallucinating a little bit because the skating in the game felt really slow.
Interesting.
But I realized why, because whoever was doing the camera work that night was much closer. So everything felt slower than
weird.
instead of just being a little wider. But the game immediately broke down with penalties, cross-checking, and it started off with Kevin Ball cross-checked Jones, and then he went down on the ice and needed to be walked off.
Jones needed to be walked off.
yeah.
Yeah, this was in response to a hit on Nico. So I do love the
Yes.
vibe of Kevin Ball being like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm 18 feet tall.
Yes.
Yes. We'll go out there and defend the captain. But he's too powerful. He's a
Yes.
giant.
And Bill and Dano did say it was good to see the aggression because then to show that, to be like, hey, don't mess with our team. Something that was just really sad was we had 2 power plays after this, but no goals. We drew a penalty for tripping. We had another power play. Nothing happened. And then second period, the Ducks score 1 minute in. Also, apparently they were beating up Luke Hughes. He had, if I'm remembering correctly, he had just a nasty hit in the middle of the ice, towards the neutral zone.
Keeps happening to him.
Yeah. And there was a moment where the trainer tried to wave him off and he waved the trainer off. And he was like, no, I'm staying.
Tough.
This was crazy. This is where everything started to truly unravel. Was Jack Hughes got a penalty for cross-checking.
Who is this man?
I don't know.
Exactly.
When does that ever happen?
Never. And I understand how this all happened. So this happened because Carrick hit Hughes on a play right before they were at the boards, and that should have been a penalty.
Yeah.
So Hughes cross-checked him to fight back for what he did to him and thought the refs were going to call the initial penalty or both of them and it was going to be neutralized, but they never caught the initial one. So instead, he just got the penalty for the retaliation and he went off. He was shaking his head. Other players were shaking their heads. And that was kind of what escalated. The immediate play after resulted in a pileup. It was Johnson versus Hughes, Miller versus Carrick. There was roughing minors on both teams. It came 4 versus 4, and there was a 10-minute suspension on Johnson. He was just out until the third period.
Yeah.
He was not allowed back. He was walked off the ice. But it was just sudden chaos. And that's what I mean. We were frazzled and we never recovered from this.
And I think the frustration was compounded by the fact that the Devils were making very many good shots. They had a lot of good chances, and the puck was just cursed by the witch that night.
I literally have it written in here. Ding, ding. Constantly heard ding, ding, where it was hitting the post and you would hear the ding. Just inches.
Yeah.
Maybe centimeters.
The
and
luck
these
was not on
pucks
their
would have
side.
gone in.
There was one shot from Hala on a power play, and I estimate this shot was aiming. It was going right at the net at a speed I can only estimate at approximately 362 miles an hour.
Yeah.
It was like
Approximately.
It was going fast enough to phase through the goalie into the
Whoa.
net.
Yeah.
And somehow it just didn't go in.
Yeah. Had a lot of good shots, a lot of good plays.
Speaking of shots on
But-
goal, who was really strong during this game?
I don't know, unless it's who I think you're talking about.
It is who you think I'm talking about.
But I think I wrote about him in the next game. Maybe
Gibson
not.
was not in the next game.
Oh, that's not who I was talking about.
Oh,
Never mind.
Okay. Well, speaking of goalies, obviously at this game, we got to see a little bit of the Devils trying to figure out what they have to do with their goalies because Vitek Vanacek had what I assume is a tummy ache and had to be out of the game.
Yeah.
Me too. As a result, they played Schmid, but you need a backup
Mhm.
goalie. So they called Nico Dawes up. We got to see a little Nico Dawes cameo. He didn't play, but he was
He's
there.
there.
And
That's
I liked
cool.
that.
Yep.
Fun little cameo.
Mhm.
On the opposite side, the
Yeah.
Ducks had Mr. Gibby.
Yes. I also have to tell you, Allie, because you had mentioned last episode that you missed the Ducks old logo where it was actually the duck face, but with
Yes.
the goalie mask. The goalie has the original logo on his goalie mask. And I was
Oh.
thinking about you the whole time.
I love it. I like Gibby. I
He
think
was so good.
he did a great job in his audition for the NJ Devils.
Honestly, though,
Sign him up.
yeah,
He did great.
Keep
I-
him.
we've
Noted
got
that
room.
myself. I was like, he did fantastic.
Yeah,
He did not come back to the third period because he wasn't feeling well.
but that's how he played while not feeling well.
Yes.
That's kind of crazy.
Right at the end of the second period, the Devils score again, which brought us back into the game. So we had a fighting chance going into the third.
Right. And when we're talking about the Ducks, obviously there's a couple obligatory things we have to mention.
Okay.
One, going into this game, they had lost 13 of their last 14.
Whoa.
They are a struggling team.
I didn't know that.
They also, because we're talking about the Ducks, I have to, this is my necessary Trevor Zegras mention. That's it.
Okay,
That's all I have to say about him.
that's all I know about him. So
Yeah, that sums it up. Besides just being the Ducks, they are currently plagued by injuries. They put up this really lovely graphic that I am kind of obsessed with
yeah,
that they called Missing Children.
huh?
And it just showed all of the players from their team who were out.
Oh my
Is
gosh.
that many?
Yeah.
Oof.
That's rough.
Oof.
Yeah. We've got 5 folks here. Trevor Zegras, Mason McTavish, Isaac Lundstrom. I'm sorry, I don't know if I pronounced that correctly. Leo Carlson and Jamie Drysdale all out.
Dang.
So what the Ducks did have going for them was one Mr. Henrique. So as per usual, he had the magic of the former Devils player. Former Devils player gets to take a goal or 2 goals or perhaps an entire hat trick from the team.
Yes, he did.
You know, Henrik, it's over for the Devils, but not you apparently.
Not for former Devils.
Not
Nope.
for former Devils.
They're doing great.
Oh, that like happy for him, but hurt my heart a little bit.
Yeah.
Same.
Kind of would have preferred to see him take a hat trick at the Rock in a different jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here we are.
The Devils need to just stop assuming that they can win against the quote bad teams.
Yeah.
I don't know what the mentality is behind it, but every time they face one of these, it just seems like they just assume that things will just magically fall into place, and then they don't.
Mm-hmm.
What a surprise.
Yeah. So this game ended with something. I don't even know what it was. It was careless. We were disorganized.
Yeah, you could definitely see Jack getting frustrated and getting a little sloppy and antsy.
Yeah.
There was one point where he was taking penalties and they put him in the penalty box. And I'm like, this is probably the best place for him right now. He needs like sensory deprivation.
He needed to cool off.
You actually do need to
Yeah.
relax.
Be in the box alone.
Be
Yes.
in the box alone because this is a little bit chaotic.
The refs were missing a ton of calls on the Ducks, though.
They were.
Someone
really
said,
were.
I forget which commentator said this, but Gudas just clobbered Lazar with a cross check and it goes uncalled. And that was pretty much the theme of this game.
Yeah. And I think that was a part of why the Devils got so frazzled,
Mhm.
where it's like, you need to call that, but we can't. We got to somehow rally past that.
Yeah.
Because even
You
if
can't
they don't
control
call it.
the officiants.
Right.
And something else they can't control is their schedule. This was a back-to-back game. The Devils have the most back-to-back games this year. They have 16 back-to-back games.
Really?
And their track record so far
Not good.
is not great on the second game of a back-to-back.
Oof, we never come out on the other side.
This night really kind of made me think that the Devils' chemistry, for whatever reason this year, isn't working the same. And I feel like we've already been seeing, and we're going to continue to see so many debates over whether or not this is a coaching problem, a player problem, a scheduling problem. I don't know what it is, but the cheese has too many holes.
The cheese does have too many holes.
Holes that are lining up.
And the pucks are getting through for the opposition.
Yeah. And there's not enough PB&J to block them all. I'm sorry, I had to take it.
And you know what? That trend continued into the next game, which Sarah and I went to in person.
We sure did.
We always go to Flyers games.
What is that about?
I don't know.
Why?
They're cheap usually.
Well, I came into this game late when it was...
So did we.
Oh, yeah.
We were there in person and we were still late.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So maybe we both came in at the same time. But when I came into this game, we were tied 2-2.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
We made it there just in time to hear the first goal horn go off.
Yep.
All right.
As we were walking into the Rock. And it was, of course, a Flyers point.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, my God, it wasn't?
It wasn't.
I just assumed it was.
It was McLeod.
Oh, my gosh. That's incredible.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's great.
Okay.
At least we got the first point.
Yeah, go team.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, we got there just in time for that. We sat down in our seats. And then I started painting my nails.
Yeah.
Because at that point it was intermission.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there was a Flyers fan, like 5 or 6 seats and 1 row down. There was no one between me and this guy. He comes up into the row and he's walking past. And, normally I was on the end. And you ask someone like, oh, excuse me, like, can you let me through?
Yeah.
Whatever. What does this guy do but step over my legs, literally like high knees, like to his chest, stepped over my legs. And then another minute later, he did it again.
It was very weird.
It was really weird.
It was peculiar.
Just ask me.
And I literally said to him, like, you could have just asked, man. There's nobody else here. It's just me.
That's so weird.
But that's Flyers fans for you.
All right. Interesting.
In terms of things that happened this game, I see now in my notes, I wrote here, if Brat and Jack are PB&J, why did we separate them? So maybe this is where they got separated. Maybe it wasn't the previous game.
Well,
I don't remember. During most of this game, to be quite honest, I was, in fact, painting my nails.
yeah.
So the notes that I have are, after McLeod set them up with the first point, Jesper took a power play goal assisted by Nico and Jack, which I just think is fun. I think that's a little, the triangle, the trifecta of Shannon's terrible peanut butter and jelly sandwich that includes cheese.
Just like your
Don't
spring
knock
rolls.
it till you try it.
My what?
Your spring rolls
Oh,
that
yeah.
also had cheese.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, cheese.
They did.
Cheese.
Okay, speaking of things that shouldn't have cheese.
Okay. PB&J, another story. Put it to the side.
Yeah.
A little bit of cheddar, I wouldn't mind. Cheese in a
face I just
We're
spring
going to
made.
roll.
ignore that.
Yeah, okay. So
Spring roll.
that same section that in the Rock that has mac and cheese,
That's fucked up.
they had spring rolls. And I was like, I, as per usual, did not come prepared and eat in advance. I need some spring rolls.
Yeah.
They're vegetable spring rolls. Perfect for me.
Great,
yeah.
So I go trotting on up and I was like, I would like spring rolls, please. First of all, she goes, that is $18. And I went,
How many did you get?
Not that many.
4?
they were like 4, but they were like cut in they were like 4 halves. They were
That's nothing.
wide spring rolls.
$18?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought the PB&J price was bad.
Like spring rolls, you can get like a box for a nickel.
I know. Okay.
So anyway,
I'm
I
distracted.
bite into these spring rolls and I'm like, cheddar. And I look up at the actual menu where it has like the ingredients for all the food listed.
Yeah.
And it says it has normal things and cheddar cheese.
I'm upset for you.
I mean, I love cheese. And if I had to put them in a random food that is sold at the Rock, I would
Yeah.
prefer them in my spring rolls than my peanut butter and jelly because
Yeah.
what the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah. But it's unexpected
Maybe that's where the $18 came from. Maybe this is really expensive cheese they're putting in their spring
Maybe.
rolls.
Yeah.
But why cheese?
I don't know.
I don't know. There are a lot of questions. Other questions I had during this game is, do they rig the Citizens Bank coin toss?
I've never seen somebody lose.
I've never seen anyone
I've never
lose.
seen somebody lose.
So
They
those of
tell them
you
beforehand.
who have never been to a game at the Prudential Center, they like during one of the intermissions, they like pull someone out of the audience and they do this like little coin toss on the screen thing. And if you guess which coin has the Devil's logo on it after the end, you get like a signed photo. Everyone always gets the signed photo.
Yes. I also think it's like whoever does the graphics sitting there, whatever number the person says is the number the graphic operator hits for
I
the
agree.
coin to flip.
Yeah.
I agree.
Probably.
I've never seen somebody lose.
Genuinely, no.
Which means we need to sign up for this so we can get ourselves a little photo.
Yeah, we do.
How
Let's
do
test
we
this
end
theory.
up as those people?
I don't
I
know.
have no idea.
Because I also want to be the Can Jam people, like the Brendan Smith Can Jam.
That's true.
I think you got to
Yeah.
sign up for that.
All right. I got a pen.
I'll sign up.
All right.
Write my name.
I'll look it up.
I'm looking at our notes. We have the Flyers tied up.
Yeah.
How?
And then
We don't know, because I know the Flowers are the Flowers.
the flowers.
Yeah.
The Flyers are in
New
the-
team.
Yeah, new team. Flowers.
Stop. I like the flowers.
It's kind of fun,
Yeah.
actually.
That's lovely.
Flurry will be the goalie.
Yeah.
The Flyers, dang it. The Flyers, like, okay, I know they're in the middle of a rebuild and they're doing very well this year, but like
They are.
watching them play hockey, it's just like messy, scrappy hockey.
They
Like,
shouldn't be that good.
It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's like a Rube Goldberg machine. Like it gets the job done, but there's a lot of
Yeah.
messy steps in between.
Unnecessary.
And I don't know how it all comes together.
Yeah.
But it just did. They tied it up. They went to another really, really messy third period where Jack Hughes again was very clearly losing his patience. Luke Hughes was losing his patience.
Whoa.
Everyone was just really frustrated.
Mhm.
And I think it's very hard to play when you're frustrated.
Yeah, because I feel you're unfocused, you're not paying attention to anything else.
I do think, and you can throw tomatoes at me, but I do think Vitek actually played well this
He did.
game.
Yes.
The final score was 2-3 Flyers, which Vitek only went in 3 goals. I gotta be honest, one of them was Jack's very questionable overtime play.
Ooh, that was before the OT goal. There was an obvious penalty. I think it was on Jack. And Bill said, because the refs
Yes.
didn't call it, he said, "You are deciding the game when you are not calling an obvious penalty."
Whoa.
Yes. And what's
And-
interesting about this, Sarah and I were sitting on that end of
Yeah.
the ice.
Yeah.
We're looking right over the goal. And it was a pretty obvious penalty.
So that was incredibly frustrating because Bill said, "I don't care if it's OT or what, like you got to call it.
Yeah.
You got to call it." But the refs just decided to ignore it. And I think that also played into the careless mistakes that happened after this. But before that, Vitek, he had an incredible overtime save.
yeah.
Incredible. And it was just so unfortunate that there was a careless mistake by was it Jack Hughes to Luke Hughes? It just, wherever the breakdown was, and that
Yeah.
resulted in a goal.
Yeah, turnover.
And it was
and a
just
goal.
unfortunate.
There was another moment too where Luke looked really frustrated because I guess McLeod had like an open channel to him and just did not pass. But no, you're right. I agree. Yeah, that penalty definitely changed the vibe and the tides of the overtime.
Yes, it
But
did.
I will say, I don't really think it matters because in the end, you really needed to beat the Flyers in regulation.
Yes.
Yes.
When you're that low in your own division standing,
You can't afford to give
1
them
point's not enough.
anything.
You need 2.
Yep.
I was thinking the same thing. I was really upset.
So if you don't even go to overtime, then you don't have to worry about this overtime penalty. You have
Yep.
to prevent it before it even gets there. How are you guys feeling after this game? Like just to take a poll of the room.
Unhappy. I don't like it when the Flyers do anything. Honestly, I would rather support like the Rangers over them.
Really?
Yes. I don't like Philadelphia.
You know what's
Huh.
funny? I agree with you.
Yeah.
Really?
The Eagles plays a large part of why I don't like the Flyers.
My dad texted me right as this game ended, as we were walking out.
They
'cause
keyed my dad's car.
That's
They-
true.
That's
They
right.
did. And I said to him, like, I'm at the Devils game. They just lost to the Flyers. And he goes,
Yeah.
you know, you got to support the Rangers then. And I said, okay, fine. If it somehow comes down to the Rangers and the Flyers, which it will come down to, if they're in the playoffs, I will support the Rangers over the Flyers. But I'm not going to actually root for them. But
no, I would root for the Flyers. If pinned to a wall and I had to pick between the two of them,
I agree.
I would root for the Flyers.
Yeah.
no.
No, I don't agree. I meant,
Yeah, it looks like I thought you were on my side.
Sorry, no, I am on your side. I would pick the Rangers because who's the goalie on the Rangers? Shesterkin?
Yes.
He's just so good.
Yes.
It is.
What
That's
the hell,
okay.
Allie?
Okay.
What about Trouba?
Yeah, your boy.
What?
Don't
you
bring
would.
Jacob into this.
Something happened I don't know about.
I just like that the Flyers. I at the end of the day, I can't help but root for an underdog, and the Rangers are just never the underdog.
Okay, fine.
But
We're gonna let it go. We're moving on.
We are moving on.
We're moving on.
Yep.
all right,
We felt bad after this game.
we felt bad.
Is what the answer
Yeah.
to that question
I
was.
was feeling a little bad about the amount of money I spent on the Stadium Series, in which they're playing against the Flyers. We have very good tickets. And
Maybe things will just magically turn around.
the Jonas Brothers.
The Jonas Brothers being there, maybe we'll do.
Well, you know what?
Wait a minute.
You know what? The
One of
Jonas
them was at the
Brothers
game.
That's
being
right.
there did not do anything for
It
the game
did
against
not.
the Oilers.
You're right.
Let's get into that.
There was just one of them, though. It wasn't all three.
One, and look
Maybe.
what happened.
Well, maybe
Yeah.
you need all three, just like how you need all three of us when we go to a game for them to win.
That's true.
Maybe.
Because they've never lost when all three of us have been
They've
there.
That's
also
true.
never lost when our producer is there.
That,
that is
is
so this
very
is the
true.
real problem.
Yeah.
All right, someone tell me about the Oilers.
All right.
Oh, actually, never mind. I'm going to tell you about the Oilers.
Okay. Tell me about the Oilers.
Okay. I'm actually going to tell you about the fact that this was Pride Night.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it was.
I was very excited. They had a really cute warm-up jersey. So, do you want to know who used the Pride tape?
Yes, I do.
We've been talking about this since episode 1.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Curtis Lazar.
Love him.
You know what this means? He is forever off the worst dress list.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
quietly clapping to not ruin the recording. But big claps to you, Lazar.
He used
I had the exact same thought because you sent me a picture of this and
Yeah.
I was like, love your jacket.
Love your jacket.
Yeah, suddenly
Curtis,
I am a fan.
this is the best jacket I've ever seen anyone ever wear.
I'll take off some points in the worst dressed category when we tally things up at the end of the season.
Yeah. You know who else used the Pride tape?
Who?
Connor McDavid.
Oh.
And I feel like I'm obligated to comment on this
Yeah.
because way back in episode 2, I want to say, when we were talking about
Oh, yeah.
someone using Pride tape, I made a comment how it was a Coyotes player and not like, someone famous like Connor McDavid, who was the first to use the Pride tape.
Yes.
So now I have to eat my words. Mr. McDavid,
He did.
you are, you did the thing.
Yeah.
He did.
I couldn't think of words to say there. You did the thing that I said you didn't do before.
Yeah.
So I used you as an example, and now you are.
But I do like to see that, though,
Boyfriend.
because, he's really famous.
Yeah.
And that makes
Yeah.
a statement.
Yeah, I
I
like
agree.
it.
It's great.
I respect it. Anyway, that's all I have to say about the Oilers. Tell me more, Shannon.
So the game itself, not great.
Eh.
1 minute in, the Oilers scored. And I'm like, do I want to pay attention anymore?
Was it McDavid who scored 1 minute in?
I
Or am I
don't
making this
know.
up?
I don't think it was. I don't
Okay.
think he was till the
But
end of it.
first 5 minutes of the game's second goal. I was like, well, I don't want to watch this anymore. And then they immediately changed the goalie to VTech. They took Schmidt out, which I felt really sad. And then I felt like we had a chance.
Yes.
And I had a ton of hope because
Yeah.
it boy Dawson Mercer scores. Sorry, Mercer.
Muffa.
It boy Dawson Mercer scores and makes
Yeah.
it 2-1 in the first period. I'm
They
like,
have
all
a
right,
lead.
this is great.
Wait,
no. But we're
I'm
back
just
in the
kidding.
game.
They're in
We're
the
back
game,
in
Yeah,
the game.
Yeah,
And
they have a
then
point. They have a point.
at the top of the second period, Siegenthaler scored.
Do you mean Steve?
Yeah.
I
She actually
No.
wrote Siegs,
She
though,
wrote
which
did
is wild.
because since you guys said that to me, now I
Now
have to
it's in
say
your head.
Siegs
Yeah.
instead of Siegenthaler in my head.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about this. All right. Anyway, Siegenthaler tied it up. And then I remembered what.
You know, something happened.
Yeah.
Earlier, there's been some conversation, Shannon. Have you been hearing this?
Definitely not.
She doesn't have
Because if
Twitter.
you haven't been telling me, there's no way.
The conversation is that someone seems to have been missing from the Devils team.
Uh-huh.
And his name is Timo Meyer.
Yeah.
He's on a wanted poster.
Uh-huh.
Timo Meyer came back from an injury, and he hasn't just been Timo Meyering the way he normally Timo Meyers.
Yes. But this play
Mhm.
Yeah.
was serious Timo time. It was incredible. I pulled the producer into the room. I was like, you need to rewatch this like 3 times. And we did. And it was just, how did our producer said, it was just like, just a big man being super athletic and physical and just literally bullied his way through all of that defense right up to the net. Incredible.
Yeah.
I want to see that every time. I was so happy. We had some real Timo time.
Yeah.
And
Quality Timo time.
Quality Timo time. It was 3-2. And I was like, oh, I want to watch this game now.
Yeah.
I think we have a chance.
Yeah. The atmosphere going into the third period was a will to live.
Yes.
Hopeful.
But then immediately my notes have a lot of fuck in it in the next section. So
That may be because the third period started with the Oilers taking 3 goals in 69 seconds.
horrific. Like top of the third, they tied it. I was like, it's okay. It's whatever.
It's all right.
We're still okay. But then as you said, in how many seconds?
69 seconds.
69 seconds.
Nice.
It was just, I literally screamed, what the fuck is happening? This is a catastrophe. This is a catastrophe.
You know what? I thought of the words
Catastrophe.
of a great poet in that moment.
Yeah.
And I looked at the screen and said to myself, the fuck are we doing?
A modern scholar.
The fuck were they doing?
I don't know.
I have no idea. I hated this comment, but I'm going to say it because I was listening to the Canadian broadcast and one of them said after the succession of goals, they were like, that's an impatient goalie.
Yeah.
And I was like,
It's a frustrated goalie.
yeah. And I was like, I agree, but I'm mad. I just felt like it was a breakdown overall.
There was one particular goal where Vitek was half out of the net.
Yes.
His left leg was not blocking the net. It was blocking empty ice.
Yeah.
And it was a bad position to be in. It was not reading plays very well to anticipate where the puck was going to go. I agree that there's been breakdowns on multiple levels. There's lots of holes in the cheese.
Yeah. So
But
we can't. Sorry.
No, you can go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, so with all the holes in the cheese, nobody can afford to make a careless mistake.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. And I think, though, you can't blow a lead like this going into the third period.
No.
With a lead against a team like Edmonton and just in less than 2 minutes.
Yes.
You've now dug yourself into a hole. I think the Devils have a goaltending problem.
Pains me to say it.
Because I do think that...
I'm just silent.
I mean, we've avoided saying it for so long.
I know.
I don't want it to be true.
The problem is, as much as we love Vitek, he gets in his head.
Yeah,
and
something's going on.
It can be an incredible goalie until the second until the second a goal goes in. And it doesn't matter if that goal is his fault or if it was just a good play or if it was our defense's fault. Once it goes in, it rattles him and you can see that he becomes very reactionary and he becomes very impatient and becomes very frustrated with himself. And to be a good goalie, you have to be able to stay centered in those moments.
And consistent. As Sarah said, I don't want to believe it, but this game did end 6-3.
Again. That's the 5th time, I think?
Yeah.
It's brutal.
Painful.
At least it wasn't the Maple Leafs Sabres game, which went.
What happened?
Was that final score like 9-3?
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, I know the Sabres scored 9.
almost did a
I don't
spit
remember.
take.
I think it was. Hold on, I have to look this up now.
Sabres did, huh?
The Sabres.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Jeez.
9-3. Yeah, that's
Wow.
correct.
Ouch.
Yeah, and multiple of those goals were Jeff Skinner, so that means they got to hear High School Musical.
Boy.
I just gotta tune in one time just so I can
Honestly.
hear it.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, that was the last game of this last week. How are we feeling going into Christmas?
I'm excited about Christmas.
Yeah.
But definitely not our standing.
No.
So I have a question to propose to the both of you.
All
All
right.
right. I'm ready. I know my answer.
You're Tom Fitzgerald. You
Oh.
manage the Devils.
Shit, this is not what I was
Okay.
ready for.
I know this is a lot of responsibility. You're seeing this happen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Expectations were high at the start of the season
Oh,
because
yeah.
you did so well last season.
Mhm.
I thought they were going to the Stanley Cup
And
without question.
Yeah.
now you're not even in a playoff or a wild card position.
Yeah.
You're hearing people say it's a coaching problem. It's a goal attending problem. It's an entire defense problem. It's a Dougie Hamilton is out problem. It's a Timo Meier didn't take his vitamin D supplements and has the winter blues problem. It's it's Jack Hughes is impatient and
Yeah.
Luke is immature problem. I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
But those are the theories that people are throwing out.
Okay.
So what do? Do you do something drastic to try to salvage the team?
No. I'm thinking about this deeply because I don't know how I became this person, but apparently I'm all about vibes.
I never saw this path for you.
Yeah.
Neither did
So
I.
read the vibes for
It's
me.
just
Tell me
like,
tell me what they're telling.
mentally the team is just not there.
Yeah,
There is
yeah.
a breakdown, and I don't know what chemistry they had last season. Like, what mixture are they missing to get their heads back in the game like they were? Honestly, I would send them all on like a bonding vacation. Would be the first thing I would do. And second, I think doing something drastic is just going to get more in their heads.
Yes.
And I think it's going to make it worse because I don't think one player makes or breaks the team because it's a team. So I think there's something bigger happening, even with it, like even saying that it's a coaching problem, you still have multiple players and leaders on the team. It's just an overall mentally, I don't think they're there. I don't know how to get them there besides putting them on a bonding vacation where they all get like trapped in a haunted house together and have to like save each other as their bonding activity.
And they get to like beat up a picture of Connor, like a piñata of Connor McDavid.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree with you.
I do too.
I think drastic changes aren't right now, but something needs to be restructured going into the next season. But I
Yes.
think we could build on it now
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
The big, the sentiment with a lot of Devils fans right now is fire Lindy Ruff, and this is actually your opinion. Because I agree with you. Our opinion is actually the unpopular one.
Yeah.
Because
Interesting.
I think that the Devils do not thrive in the setting of chaos, and I think firing Lindy
Mhm.
Ruff would create more chaos than
Yep,
it would
it would
solve.
be awful.
Completely.
And I understand the impulse because you play a team like Edmonton who did that this year.
Right.
And now look at how they've shamed the Devils twice in a row. It worked for them, so maybe it could work for the Devils. But I don't think it would. I think it would create more chaos. I think it would create more frustration. I think sometimes at the end of the day, you just have to accept that it's not working.
Yes.
You don't have the solution right now,
Yes.
and maybe you just have to wait till next season.
Yeah.
Because what my concern is,
Mhm.
any drastic moves you could make outside of firing Lindy Ruff, which again, I don't think would be beneficial. Other
Yeah.
drastic moves, your only other really option is to make a desperate trade for a goalie.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. What you would have to pay for a goalie worth the trade would be some of your other
Not worth it.
star players.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
You have on the team your top lineup. You've got Jesper Bratt, Jack Hughes, you've got Nico, you've got Timo Meier locked down for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
You don't want to make a silly trade out of desperation to
No.
salvage a season and potentially disadvantage yourself in future seasons. Sometimes you just kind of have to do your best to let the season ride out. Whatever's going to happen happens. And
Yeah.
try to find the holes and fix them next year.
Yeah. I feel like this sentiment, you could really hear it in Timo's interview, the one that we were commenting on, where like his accent had
He sounds
changed.
American.
Yeah, where he was so hard on himself and he was so upset that he just hasn't been playing the way he wants to play. And I think that's a part, like they're just being so hard on themselves. There's just something mental going on.
It's the expectations are set so high.
Yeah.
You beat the Rangers, you get to the second round.
Right.
And then you come to this season, which has not been as successful so far.
Yeah.
It's really hard not to let it go to your head.
So if I was Fitz, I would do nothing.
Yeah.
I would send them on the vacation.
I would send
I agree.
I would tell everyone to go to the
Spooky
spa.
vacation.
Yes.
The spooky spa. All right. Well, now that we've summed our wonderful, wonderful week of the Devils up, let's give out some awards.
Yeah.
All right. Getting into the Skrkuffle Awards, where we give Academy Awards to the most cinematic fights of the week. First thing I got to say, we are seeing way more gameplay stoppage when players get hit. Like all of a sudden, just after the
refs are blowing the whistle.
Yes. And just everyone stops because the players don't move. And I can't tell if this is just because everything has become more violent in the past like week and a half, or everyone's like, no, we need to be far more aware and not just like brush these things off. And maybe the players, instead of like trying to get up and get over there, they're like, if I stay here for a second, they're going to blow the whistle, is what I've been feeling. I don't mean like, I'm not saying we're getting into soccer territory, but I do think we're coming to this happy medium where there's bad hits, and instead of letting the guys like get up and then be down a man on the ice, we're actually taking care of these players and letting them take a moment to regroup themselves and decide, should they be on the ice? I want to say it was the Devils' turn this week for skirmishes. There were so many. First off, it was the fight with Ball and Johnston during the Duck game was kind of crazy.
The Duck game.
Yep.
Yeah.
One
the
duck.
game.
One duck.
Yes.
One wild, one duck.
One duck.
Exactly.
This is when Ball got a second penalty. Before he could get to the bench, Johnston went right after him. Ball held him back for like a solid 30 seconds. But then, I've never seen this before, he gave in.
Yeah.
Johnston got in like 2 really good uppercuts, and then Ball went down to the ice. And I couldn't tell if this was like a play possum situation by Kevin Ball, just like, can we just be done with this right now? Or if Johnston really got in some good hits. But I was shocked that Johnston took Kevin Ball down to the ice. And then during the Flyers game, there was this crazy moment where it looked like Bastian hit the Flyers goalie.
Yeah.
From the camera view that I saw, it didn't look like it, but it didn't matter because the entire Flyers team just went after him. They were just like, we're going to get him. And I'm going to give the award to Curtis Lazar this week.
Oh.
Just a Skrkuffle Award. It's not an Academy Award.
Okay.
But
That's
he
still an
definitely gets
award.
the best
It's still
Skrkuffle this
an
week.
honor.
Yeah.
Because during the Oilers game, he just got into a couple skirmishes, and it was just incredible to see him throw some punches.
Hell yeah.
He just, I don't even remember what player it was, but they were by the net, and he just went for it, like boom, boom. I was like, wow. All right. So Curtis Lazar,
Love that.
you can get the Skrkuffle Award this week.
I love that for him.
Okay, Allie.
Yeah.
What are the whispers on the Twitter wins this week?
Well, let's see. So on Twitter, my boy James Nichols came through with a great tweet, as he often does. This is relevant to what you were just talking about.
All
I will
right.
read this tweet in full. Ball,
Okay.
open parenthesis, 6'6", 230 pounds, close parenthesis, and Johnston, open parenthesis, 6'5", 235 pounds, close parentheses. Drop mitts. New paragraph. Them's big boys. Hashtag New Jersey Devils.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Great reporting. That is the type of reporting I like to see. That's funny. So we talked about how Nico Dawes got called up
Yes.
He later on gave a little interview where he said that he was on his way to Pennsylvania from Utica,
Okay.
4.5 hour drive, to pick up his new golden retriever puppy when he got the call that he had to be in New Jersey that night. So he had to abandon his trip
No.
and drive to New Jersey instead.
Oh.
Where's the puppy?
Did he get the dog?
The puppy, as of last I checked, was still in Pennsylvania.
Oh.
So I hope that Nico has gotten his puppy by now.
I hope so.
Yeah.
And someone commented, and I think this person is 100% correct, that they hope Nico names it Nico Paws.
Oh. That's so cute.
That'd be adorable.
I want him to name him Captain.
No.
Wait, what?
It's not Nico.
It's not Nico Heischer.
Yeah.
Oh. I thought it was. I was so confused.
No.
Why would Nico Heischer
Another
be
Nico.
playing goalie?
I don't know. That's why I was confused.
We're changing things up. We're just going to completely make everyone play a different position.
Nico
Maybe
Paws.
that's what this team needs.
You know? But Heischer and net.
Yeah.
He can do it.
Uh-huh.
Pull Schmidt out there. Make him a center.
Sure.
No, Nico Dawes is their he's the goalie.
Nico Dawes. I got it.
Utica.
I got it.
Not Nico. You sure? Oh my gosh.
I was not following.
You did. So now you understand the Nico Paws joke, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got it. I got it.
Another wacky thing to happen on Twitter this week. Nolan Patrick, who the Devils fans love to talk about him because he was famously drafted second after Nico Heischer, not Dawes, was drafted first by the
following.
Devils. And it was very back and forth on which player they were going to take. He officially retired, except JK maybe not.
Okay.
He hasn't been playing for a while because due to migraine issues, and there's conflicting
Oof.
reports on whether or not this is related to concussions he suffered early in his career.
That's really sad.
I've seen people debate this back and forth. Either way, there was a report or like a notice released, including by the Flyers, that Nolan Patrick is retiring. Everyone was wishing him good luck in his future,
Yeah.
and Nolan Patrick apparently spoke to a reporter and said no. Or his family spoke to a reporter and they were like, what are you talking about? Nope, he's not retired.
How's this happen?
Interesting.
So
Someone just spreading rumors.
What's that mean?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Who's doing that?
I don't know. So Nolan Patrick's not playing, but not retired. To be continued.
Yep.
So we're not going to worry about it.
Nope.
And move on into don't worry about it. Because sometimes I'm saying some random shit and the announcers do it too. This week is interesting because I put a couple things in here that I thought were funny.
Good.
But because you guys didn't put them in here, they might not be funny. All right. So first off, I got the oldest power play in the league. So Bill was talking about the ages of the players on the Ducks team, like the people in this power play, just their ages. He was like, these are older players, but despite being a really young team, and I was like, all right, Bill.
Huh. That's because, so that's what we were talking about, the missing children poster.
Oh.
The Ducks is a very, they mostly have younger players, but all of
But
their
they're all
younger
out.
players are out.
Got it.
And so their power play consists of mostly veterans.
Okay.
So they are the oldest power play in the league, like average age wise.
Interesting.
I'm glad I left that in there. So you could explain that to me.
I live to serve.
I love the next
The
one.
next one is funny.
I can't even say it.
This one's hilarious
It's so silly.
because
It's good because of your
because of
explanation
Shannon's yes.
in parentheses.
I also feel like there's a noun missing here.
Yeah, there is.
Yeah. I think so.
I'll read it verbatim. So I said, the quote is, flutters his right. Oh, I thought this was funny because it says, duck goalie. This is funny because he is a duck.
Flutters like feathers.
I thought it was hysterical. I don't know if it was intentional.
This is funny because he is a duck. I'm glad that she had to remind herself
Yes.
of why it was funny.
I thought it was great.
It is.
love this.
It is.
The next one is Timo Meyer streaks out.
Not strikes out, streaks
No,
out.
it was streaks. When I was
Oh.
thinking about this clip of like the funny mascot clip that Sarah and I watched when Gritty was streaking across the rink. So that's what this reminds me
Put
of.
some clothes on. Put your mom sweater on.
But
Dano said this one. Helter Skelter play so far.
Did he say Helter Skelter? Wait, sorry. Did he say Helter Skelter, or did he say, as you have written here, Helter Skelter?
He said it the first way, not the way I wrote it down.
I didn't notice it said Heltzer too.
Helter.
I thought that was a really interesting way to describe a play.
Have you never heard the phrase Helter Skelter?
No, I have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I guess why it's funny to me is because I associate this phrase purely with true crime.
With the like
Yeah.
cults. And,
yeah, so I guess that's why I thought it was funny for it to be describing a play.
yeah, I agree.
All right.
Helter Skelter is
Yeah.
funnier.
All right. We'll go with that. This is fun because I haven't read these. Sometimes I like to say, you play with the bull, you get the horns. Thank you, Dano.
I think this one's funny because I like how he says, sometimes I like to say,
Right.
as if this is not a
Not a
common
phrase that people say. Yeah. That's why it's worth mentioning. Because, like, that's a very normal thing
Yeah.
to say.
Or that Dano doesn't. This is like the third time I've talked about Dano making comments about bulls.
Hey, you used that metaphor earlier.
You did.
I did.
You did.
I did because Dano used it.
You're
Yeah.
becoming Dano.
No.
I mean,
no. The segment's here because we do talk similar.
right.
You and Dano have
But
many similarities.
I hit my mic. No. Okay. Bemstrom whistles it wide. Bemstrom? I don't know how to say it. Apparently whistles it wide.
That's like my favorite metaphor.
Is that a metaphor?
I like that.
It's a metaphor.
I don't know.
Yeah, like when you take a shot and it's like it's going so fast, it's like whistling, like like the sound of like a whistle, like of something like a frisbee, like whistles past
It's
your
so
ear.
fast
It's
that
so
it's
fast.
whistling.
You hear it, but you don't see it.
Okay.
But it was wide because he missed.
All right.
Much nicer than trickles and the other ones that they'll use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trickle does sound like you're
Squirt
peeing.
Yeah. Yep.
out.
We
Hate
didn't have that
one.
this week.
No, it was said. I just didn't put it down.
Damn it.
All right. And last I got Between the Wickets of Akira Schmid.
I put this on the list because I just really like the word
It's
wickets.
a good name.
Yeah.
Name?
It's good.
Name?
Wicked
love
Schmidt.
Wicked Schmidt. So we're really not going to worry about it and move on over to It Boy of the Week.
My favorite segment. I love this one.
Do you have a nomination?
No.
Oh my gosh.
I was thinking about it in the car in the drive over here, and it's hard to find someone to
What?
nominate when the Devils are they're being
not doing their greatest.
They're being the Devils.
Yeah.
I have a nomination.
Okay.
You know what? I also got a nomination.
All right. Do
You
you
want to go first?
Oh.
Okay. I'll go first.
Yeah.
Dawson Mercer, because I wrote It Boy Dawson Mercer
Nice.
in my comments.
Yeah.
Because he scored a goal. I don't even remember what game. We just talked about it.
Oilers.
Thank you.
I'm surprised
But
that
brought
it's
us
not.
back into the game.
I have a nomination now, and I think it's the same as Sarah's.
Oh my gosh. Apparently
It
I've
might
already
be.
lost.
But I'm
All right, Sarah.
surprised at that from you. Okay.
Whoa.
I'm
Okay,
gonna.
Sarah could be between two people. I'm going to
Okay.
nominate who I thought Shannon was going to nominate,
Okay.
which is Timo Meyer
Yeah.
for bringing back Timo time.
Exactly.
I feel like an idiot. You're right. I messed up.
Would you like to rescind your nomination?
Nope.
It's done.
I said it. But you're right, Allie.
Is that your nomination, Sarah?
It was not my nomination.
I think,
Oh!
okay.
Should I give a
I
nomination?
was,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to nominate Curtis Lazar for using the Pride tape.
Yeah.
He wins.
Just for that.
It boy Curtis Lazar.
All right.
Wasn't he
It Boy of the Week.
last week?
I'd have to check my notes.
I thought he was.
All right. So if Curtis Lazar was going to be another ingredient in this nasty peanut butter and jelly and Swiss sandwich
Abomination.
that we're making on this episode, I think that he would be Oreos.
Oh, huh.
Okay.
Where in
I'm
the
going with it.
layers are the Oreos? Like, is this
Um,
bread Oreo peanut butter?
No.
Yes.
What? Oreos are in the middle of the peanut butter and the jelly, so they're held into the sandwich.
Where's the Swiss cheese?
yeah. Does that go on the other side?
On top.
On top.
It's on the outside of the bread?
Whoa.
Yeah, why
What
not?
is this sandwich?
Someone make this.
Please don't.
Okay. There's something to show you guys
Curtis
after this.
Oreos.
In the PBJ and Swiss Abomination.
Yep.
Well, I'm happy for Curtis.
Mhm.
You have a song this week?
My song, we're going to have to be predictable
Okay.
in the spirit of the Sharks' arrival outfits.
Whoa, this is not what I thought where this was going.
Mm.
Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer
This isn't even the Christmas
had a
episode.
very shiny
What?
nose.
What did they come out in?
And
The candy cane suit.
yeah, I like the reindeer antlers.
Oh, I thought the
And
whole
if
team came
You
out as
ever
Rudolph.
saw him, you would even say it glows.
Yep.
All of the other reindeer
Yep.
used to laugh and call him names. They never let poor Rudolph
What?
join in any reindeer games because he's not on the team anymore. So
That's true.
he's not allowed to join their reindeer
He's not.
games.
All right. This has been Hot Girls Hockey. Tune in next week for more sugar.
Spice.
And everything ice.
If you like our show, please leave us a rating, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, and tweet at us at hotgirlshockey_.